Fundraising with Dawn Lego. If this is the first time you're here, thank you for tuning in. As you know, my friend Diana Fragnito and I have been addressing a lot of different questions that we've heard in the past 10 years in fundraising. We're hoping that we bring you some good ideas and new thoughts that you want to think about when you execute your events. So, Diana and I were taking a trip down memory lane. We were talking about when we first started in this industry. It really was a mobile bidding product, right? It was really mobile bidding technology where that's all it did. It supported the silent auction, the donation, a couple of buttons on a device. So what happened from there? We kind of integrated payments and then an event management technology so that A to Z, whatever you had to do, all those tasks, table management and sponsorship management and ticketing and everything that happens, receipting, tracking, reporting, all that stuff that gives me a headache right now when executing an event. So that was really cool. But then we started with text to give and online giving and peer-to-peer technology and then social fundraising, right? So now it's snowballed. It's like a conglomerate of technology all under one umbrella. It's like a shopping mall, really.
Yeah.
And it's been so much fun, right?
It's been great. It's been great because when we, as Dawn mentioned, when we first started, we were one specific thing. It was a single product, right? It was just mobile bidding to help with auctions. But the goal or the vision of the company truly was to be the company that is there to support and service the nonprofits with technology, with different software for their fundraising. Everyone,
for their 365, 24/7 fundraising,
year round, right? And there's everything from a gala to different events to different types of campaigns, whether it be the 5K, whether it be a giving day. There's all different ways to fundraise, and so our goal was always to have some kind of product or solution to help the nonprofit reach point A to reach point B in a really efficient way. So what it's allowed us to do, which has been great, is in the past we could only speak about one thing, right? But now we can talk to nonprofits about their entire
Everything.
Calendar of fundraising, and we can kind of help them also strategize, which product or which platform is best to help them accomplish that. And I think we've seen a couple of examples recently, which I find fascinating because this really just came from some nonprofits and their creative brain and the way it was thinking, where they combined two things. They combined our mobile bidding and they combined our peer-to-peer platform to work together in conjunction with each other into something that we're calling now ambassador fundraising. And really a quick definition of it really is just to identify some real ambassadors of your organization, super supporters, super volunteers, let's call them ambassadors, who are willing to that you deputize, and they're willing now to go out on your behalf to help spread your message, to help spread the awareness, but more importantly to help. They want to fundraise on your behalf. They're going to recruit. They're going to their social network. So now your reach is beyond that, just them. You're going to their social, network. So it's that, and so on and so on and so on and so on. And so we've seen a couple of organizations kind of combine the two, their gala with this idea of ambassador fundraising together. And so I would love you, Dawn, to speak a little bit about, because it was one of the projects you worked on, the Morgan Marie Michael Foundation, because they did
such a success story. Yeah, we've seen a few success stories, but the Morgan Marie Michael Foundation actually had their signature event, and they added a peer-to-peer component leading up to the event. So they started their campaign in about January 2019, and they saw it through to June 2019. But in that time, they had less than 50 ambassadors. And again, as Diana mentioned, you can call them anything. Board members, volunteers, super donor, whatever it is that you call them, students, it's all good. But they were ambassadors in this particular case. And they were engaged with the organization on a daily basis, looking for activities, sponsorship support, fundraising, recruiting, awareness, and social sharing. You want to catch Diana and I's one of our next videos about what is social fundraising. It is powerful. And in this case, when you add peer-to-peer with mobile bidding, you have opportunity to do a lot of social fundraising. So these ambassadors worked every day, and they were happy to do so. They were looking for more every day. Not everybody just wants to buy a ticket and come to an event. They're aligned to your mission. So the Morgan Ray Michael Foundation actually increased their ambassadors 300% and their proceeds over 500%.
Wow. This also, because this always fascinates me, because this thing of social fundraising, peer-to-peer, it has so many different names, and I'm sure everyone's come across it. You might have seen something on Facebook, right? People are doing Facebook fundraising. This idea of the social validation. If my friend comes to me and says, I believe in this nonprofit, and this is my story, and this is why, and I'm trying to help raise money because this money is going towards the solution of this problem, and I see that 5 of my friends donated, it's just this social validation thing that I want to donate as well. Now, I may even get moved enough to become
an ambassador
or a supporter,
ticket holder, a supporter,
etc. So it's the power of using social media and social networks to further your story, your mission, your awareness, and naturally, the fundraising. So you've got, on the back end, you've got these 2 technologies that are supporting each other to do just that. And for those of you who don't know, let's explain a little bit about peer-to-peer. With peer-to-peer, or the social fundraising idea, the technology, it allows each one of these ambassadors to create their own page. They could design it the way they want. They can post whatever photos,
their story,
videos,
their
story.
Connected to social media.
Exactly. So it's very, very personal, right? It's very personal to them. But then it all rolls up to the bigger, let's say, campaign. And it's
powerful when used at an event. It really is.
It really is. And like we said, we've seen about a dozen or so of our customers do this. And so we see it as a trend. This idea of peer-to-peer, you see it all the time with a 5K or a walk. But this is an interesting concept because it's taking the traditional gala and it's doing this peer-to-peer leading into it, really, really utilizing these soldiers, as I like to call them, and giving them some tools with this software to go out and fundraise and spread awareness. And there's so many different things like you can do as far as
activities,
friendly competition, different activities,
match campaigns.
Yeah. So
the incremental difference is awe-inspiring. If you're looking to really affect your bottom line, to do something a little bit new and easy, quite honestly, it's easy to execute because the technology supports it. And you're really looking for that incremental lift. This is the way to do it.
I was recently, and I might be going off a tangent, but it does fit into this. I was recently at a association, the Association of Development Authors meeting in Westchester, and they had a guest speaker, and he said something really, really interesting. He said, fundraising is divided into 3 lanes. The first lane is that lane where it's acquiring new donors. Right? Acquisition. The second lane being, the repeat donors,
engagement,
trying to get them to, donate again, identifying who the big donors are, and then of course you've got your big major donors. And he suggested, which I thought was interesting. He said, in today's day and age, there's technology, and there's so many ways in that first lane to get those new donors that you should engage with, and that most of your time should really be spent in that lane 2, cultivating the bigger donors, that you should take advantage of the opportunities that are out there with technology that can do so much of the heavy lifting for you to get those initial donors. So now you've got this data, you've got these people that made that initial donation. Now you can try and get them to convert them to a recurring donor and to a bigger donor, right? So I think between the technology, the whole idea of social fundraising, using your ambassadors to get more people into your cause, into your mission, and to fundraise is something that everyone should be thinking about, because again, we talk about how things change in the future, and this is the future, this idea of mobilizing people's social networks. Why shouldn't you? If you've got someone in that's a supporter and really believes in what you're doing, use them. It's
Tap their network.
Tap their network. It's no different than having an honoree. It's just it's moving it to the social networks, really, right?
And a nonprofit organization would never be able to reach, if you have 50 ambassadors and they each have 2,000 Facebook friends or 1,000 Instagram friends. Do the math. To reach that number of people would take a whole heck of a lot of marketing. So as what Diana is saying, absolutely leverage your ambassadors leading up to an event, and
Yeah.
it might be.
I just remembered another. We had one organization that did this concept, but they used their board members. They did a really, really great friendly competition with their board members, right? And they tasked their board members with a certain amount to raise before the event. So it was like a nice friendly competition. Like I said, they each kind of created their own page. They were asked to come up with their why. Why is this organization important to them? Why is this work important? And they were tasked to kind of go out there and keep in mind the organization is leading them, right? They're still like captain to the ship, right? But these are your soldiers. And so I thought that was another creative way to get the board members involved and to walk into the event with, I think they had raised like $30,000 extra just by this like board member competition.
I'll take $30,000 extra every day, all day.
Just another idea.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, thanks. You heard it here with Dawn and Diana. Thanks for tuning in to Fundraising with Dawn Lego. We're going to have a series of answering these questions that you ask most often. If there's something you want to talk about, let us know. Please give this video a thumbs up and certainly subscribe. We'd love to hear from you. You can find us both on LinkedIn. Thanks very much. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.